Hello and welcome everyone to a new video on our YouTube channel. So in today's video, we're going to be showing you how to replace outer tie rods on this 2004 Nissan Murano. Now the car looks like this because we have a lot of repair videos in the work right now, which are going to be out soon. So stay tuned for that. Now let's head straight to work. So the issue with this car was that the steering wheel is shaking when going on the road, and also it was a little bit turning on its way to the right. So we inspected it and turns out to be the outer tie rods. So let's get straight to this assembly. First, we're gonna start with the driver's side. Okay guys, so after jacking up the car, putting her on jack stands and removing the wheel, we reveal the outer tie rod that we're gonna be replacing. We're gonna be replacing on both sides. So we're gonna start here. So with a 22mm socket, we're gonna remove the nut. Making sure the ball end of the joint is not spinning on us, which is not. It's good. Just like that. Now we're gonna remove the tie rod from the spindle. So guys, they make some special tie rod and pullers and ball joint pullers, but you at home won't have it. So we're gonna use the backyard fix, which is you strike after lubricating the area with some penetrating fluid, strike the surroundings where the tie rod inserts into the spindle, just like that. This will help free up the corrosion and possibly even set her free. After pulling it out, we're gonna reset it in because it's easier to unbolt it from the inner tie rod. So now a simple trick is to use a tape measure. Measure the distance from a fixed point on the steering rack to where the tie rod bolts in. Take that number and reinstall the new tie rod the same length as it is now, just to be safe, to go to an alignment shop, just to be able to drive for your safety and for other safety on the road. Now, spray some penetrating fluid on the nut, on the lock nut here, just to help her set free. You can use other types of measuring this tie rod length. You can either mark it with a color here or count the turns of the tie rod when you spin it out. But I've been using the tape measure and it has been accurate almost that the car does not need an alignment, but make sure you do an alignment after replacing the tie rod. Now, after setting the tie rod back in the spindle and lubing the nut here using a 24mm wrench, drag the lock nut free. Because of age and going on the road with a lot of oil leaking and stuff, the nut welded itself on, as usual with all the cars, where this nut is not frequently loosened. It gets stuck like this, so don't be afraid to use some violence on it. Get out of here. Just like that. Cracked her free. Now we just tighten her up just a little bit until it touches a little bit, just so we can reinsert the new tie rod easily, not having to count anything. You can count it, like now it's bit 2, 3, 4. It's about 13 times. Now what I like to do is spray on some penetrating fluid, which removes the rust on the threads here, just so they won't corrode as much the next time. Here is the new tie rod that we have. We are not sponsored by them, but we bought it. Comes with a new counter pin. Now we will install it in. Now I'm going to use the tape measure to replicate the numbers that we had before. Now that we got the numbers from the fixed point of the steering rack to both the ball joint here and the lock nut here, the same as it was before. Now note that these numbers should not be the same for each car, or even for both sides of the car, because this is what the alignment shop uses to adjust the steering alignment. So it's going to be different on each side and on each car. So make sure you go to your own numbers that you use the tape measure and get. Now we're gonna just a little bit turn about this much the lock nut away, and this one too, because when we lock them together, they're gonna spin a little bit more, so they're gonna exceed the length. Doing that, it will be spot on. As you can see, the new tie rod, I cannot move the ball joint by hand, whereas for the old one here, it can be moved. This one is a little bit decent, but we are replacing the tie rods for the other end, which we're gonna show you later on. Now what we do is we set the ball joint in, take one final measurement to be safe, to be sure that everything is where it needs to be. It's here and it is there. So now I'm gonna tighten her up. Just like that, and take a final measurement once again. And everything is where it needs to be. Just like that. Now we're gonna install the new nut here, along with the supplied counter pin. Just like that. Remember, this is a castle nut, so this shape goes towards the outside, whether it was up or down. Now we torque her down. Now, after torquing the tie rod end down, I'm gonna use the counter pin that is supplied with the kit, the tie rods anyway. Set it in here just like that and bend her into place. And the guy can't find his tools. Just bend her into shape, just like that. Put this one down and over. Just like that. As you can see, since the hole of the stud that we insert the counter pin through is below the castle nut, we bend it into this shape where it goes up into the castle nut and bends around the spindle here. If the castle nut and the hole were aligned perfectly in the middle, then what we would do is split them to the sides. Now, when you replace tie rods, always replace them on both ends. So now we're gonna go to the other side. So as you can see, guys, this is a textbook example of a worn out steering tie rod. As you can see, I can move it with one finger. Normally, I should not be able to move it. It should be as stiff and hard as a rock. So as you saw, guys, we showed you how to replace both outer tie rods on a Nissan Murano. Now we went into details on how to put it back in approximately where it was before, just to be safe to go on the road straight to the alignment shop. Now, as you can see, we're not gonna be able to put the car down on the ground yet because we have a lot of content that is being filmed about repairs, multiple repairs on this car. As you can see here, we have half the engine torn down and on the ground. So stay tuned for the upcoming videos that's gonna be showing you how to do a bunch of repairs on this car. So see you then. Peace.